Yep. So, good afternoon, everybody.
Afternoon.
Welcome to Friday. I realized in looking over the videos that I open things off with Qigong and I open things off with very gentle movements, gentle exercises, but I haven't actually done a traditional or like a nice opening pass or flow. Something that Dr. Serlin has done in stepwise to get us ready for the Tai Chi for arthritis. But I was compiling a group of things where this can help open up all our joints and kind of loosen up that opportunity for Qi to flow. So we've done this before where it's this gentle, motion like this, right? And as we rotate, you want to steadily start hitting lightly, don't beat yourself up. Well, you want to hit that lower flank, you want to get to the kidneys. You want to breathe at your own pace. You can move at your own pace. You can go slow. You can go fast. This thing is more loosening up your shoulders, loosening up your joints, loosening up your kidneys and that Qi. And then gradually slow, bring your body back to relax. One I wanted to add, which is one that I saw was very interesting, is now we work on upper chest. So that same rotation motion, but now you're reaching for like the apex of the lungs, almost getting to like that upper shoulder chest to really break up. Oddly enough, on a day where we have some bad air quality, breaking up anything that might be lodged in that chest. This I've seen has been good for immune system, really opening up that lung apices or metal meridian for your lungs. And then as you come back to relaxation, slowly come back. Now to kind of open things up, there's different names for stuff. I don't have names for stuff. I just kind of go with the flow of movement. But this one I saw was a nice big, shoulder opener, chest opener. But it's kind of a draping, almost like you're petting a tiger or draping like a cloth over a table. But you pull your arms back and then you stretch when you come here. So it's this nice gentle stretch, almost stagnant stretch, and you're coming back. And you just, with your breath, pull that chest, straighten your chest out. It pulls really nicely on the pectorals. Really nicely, nice, gentle. Eases up the shoulders, especially if we're used to doing like empty force or a lot of like shoulder work exercises. Straight, pull. At our computers, on a computer, sitting down, very, very tense, and we as human beings tend to hold stress in our upper shoulders. I particularly hold, my blowhole for stress is very much my neck. So being able to look at things like, cloud hands were so used to pulling this. What if we were to pull this energy and we push and we rotate this way? Now we get this nice lateral stretch. We pull back. We're pulling this way, and we're used to this, but now add this opposite head motion. So now we're pushing away, we're getting this good long longitudinal stretch in our neck and shoulders. Breathe in. Exhale, we push, and when we get kind of that extent of it, we get this nice straight line stretch. I don't mean to be pushing my potentially negative energy at you.
All good.
And we're like, oh, breathe in, exhale that bad energy, and I'm throwing it right at you. So no, like I'm very conscious of where my hands are going. Finish things off, this opening up with that healing form that we've explored a little. It's online, but we haven't done it as this group. This is the one where you bring energy up, hit this tree, bring energy up, and as you bring your hands, fingertips are kind of aligned, palms facing you, and as you exhale, you just let that energy guide along your body. Exhale, let our palms face us. Exhale slowly. One more time. And exhale. How's everyone feel this morning or this afternoon? Good, good?
Good.
Feel loose? Want to do something silly?
Yeah.
I
Sure.
find it fun. Some people, I've been in seminars where it's people laugh initially. I think it's actually a lot of fun. But it's to loosen up everything. So this is great for people who aren't self-conscious. But you want to make sure you're on a stable footing. You want to make sure you're not on like the ground's all uneven and stuff like that. But this one is, does it make a lot of noise? So in this we bounce, and we kind of, you've seen athletes do this. They kind of get ready for like a race or whatever. And we keep our feet planted. So with this, we start almost like a gentle bounce. Right? You loosen your wrists up, you loosen your elbows, your shoulders are loose, even your spine is loose. I've seen this referred to as loosening up the 4 pumps. You got your 4 pumps, your arms and your legs, but you also have one in your spine. So this allows us to be nice and loose and relaxed. You can even get more, or you can go nice and slow. So it depends on how much energy you have and how much you want to throw into it. With this one, normally we do breath in and breath out through our nose. With this one, almost to stimulate our vagus nerve, almost engage a polyvagal theory, is on our inhale it's through the nose, but on our exhale we out through the mouth. So you get very rhythmic, so it goes you can almost hum too. And it livens up that throat. It helps clear out a lot of that gunk or that tension in the throat. That one I like because it's a little, opens up, a little silly. I like it. And for our last part of the opening, even though it's very, very warm, so I might not notice it as much. This one, you rub our hands together. start slow, feel that friction. You go a little faster. What I'm gonna ask you to do is when you're ready, put this on your face, over your eyes, closed eyes. Tell me what you see. Ready, go. Nature. It's sunny, so that's why I said I'm not going to notice necessarily the heat, but it can help to really liven up the pores, liven up the energy of the face too. We spend a lot of time in Qigong focused on our body, and we're not as aware of our face. So many of the acupoints and meridians that run through there. So doing that a couple times can help, just open everything up, open up those blood vessels. So,
is there a color we should be seeing?
Nope, there's no shoulds with this. It's whatever you see. There's different perspectives on interpreting the colors, because they can align with different chakras or different meridians. And then those are the ones that are more open as opposed to more restricted. We get so used to looking at things from a restricted standpoint or hypermobile standpoint. With this, it's if that's the color that's really evoking something to you, you're like, oh, maybe that's something that I focus on. So purple is very much crown chakra, which now I'm mixing ideology and stuff, but very much that, mind, that overthought, consciousness, spirituality component too. So, with time, as it is, I definitely want to pass things over to Dr. Serlin because he has more of Tai Chi for arthritis for today.
Indeed so.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Jason. It's always almost is the case when Jason gets going with the Qigong, it brings up a memory of an exercise that I'm familiar with, and I can't help sharing this particular one. This exercise, very similar to what Jason was doing with the shaking, is called peacock flaps its wings, is the way that I've learned this. And essentially, what we do with peacock flaps its wings, we're going to breathe in and just let our arms come up, and then as we breathe out, it's almost like you're just going to let the tension in the arms go and let the arms just come down. So it's breath in, breath out. And again, that same idea, letting that exhale when you let your arms down and letting any built up tension in your shoulders and your wrists go. One more time. Now, I've also been taught a version of this that involves the legs, going back to, again, what Jason was doing here. So what we do is, as the arms come up, we come up onto the balls of our feet, and then as you let your heels drop in, literally just drop all of your energy. Now, I really like to use this one to clear negative energy, okay? Especially if I do feel like things are bound up inside of me. And so what I'm doing with that negative energy, I think of Mother Earth as being yin, okay? It's the way that it's conceptualized. Mother Earth being yin, absorbing the rain, absorbing the negative energy. And what I want us to do is, as we're building up, as we breathe in, gather, so to speak, that negative energy in the heels of your body and in your palms. And then when you let everything go, let it drop into Mother Earth where it can be safely absorbed. Okay, so here we go. Breath in and out. So sort of the heels drop and then the arms follow. One more. Okay. Real nice exercise. I learned that exercise where Jason was going back and forth just to make a comment as ragdoll. And the idea, when I do that, I picture that old knotted up ragdoll that you might have played with as a child years ago. And as we spin the body of the ragdoll, the arms just loosely follow. So just to add a name to something that Jason was doing, that was taught to me as being ragdoll. Now we're going to move onward in our progression. We are now at move 4 of our Tai Chi form. I'm going to demonstrate that first, and then we're going to do it one time, and then we're going to try to add it in to where we've already progressed in the form. Now I'm going to face initially this direction so you can see where my hands are going, but there's going to be a change in the direction that we go when I turn around. So just recognize this. I'm going to mirror all of you. Okay, so move 3 is where we are now with our right foot just slightly turned off, and we've pushed our hands out over our right knee. So push your hands out into this position, please. Okay, now we then opened with our left hand and leaving our weight in that right leg. Now from here, move 4. We're going to bring our right leg in and our right arm in, and once you get a hand in front of your belly and one over here, we're going to let the hands pass as we step back to the point we were and drift over. Now bring your other foot shoulder width, let the hands pass, and now come back the other direction. So this is cloud hands, just like Jason showed us a few classes ago, except we're adding in this motion of our feet. And we're going to go one more time. There's 5. And now back to this point. And then we go right back to this position, move 2. Okay, let's break it down for just a second. So the feet, and I'm going to turn the same direction, the feet essentially go from, we've stepped out here just slightly in front of our other leg, and we're here. So now our feet are going to come into this pattern where we're going to bring this foot back into shoulder width stance, and then it's simply stepping out, and then the other foot comes back to shoulder stance. We step out just laterally, bring the other foot in, and then we do it one more time. So we do 3 steps with each foot. Okay? That's the footwork. It's not all that complex. Adding in to where we were with the cloud hands, I like to think, and most of the time with Tai Chi, we're talking about circularity being part of what we're looking for. Now I want you to think about this one in terms of a square motion. Okay? So what happens now, looking just at the hands are here, and we open. And now we're going to bring this other hand over so you can kind of see the square happening. We let the hands pass, and then both hands, as we step, we're going to drift across to the other shoulder. When that other foot slants, we come up and down the side of the square, back across the square, let the hands pass, and we are doing this then 3 times, creating essentially 3 squares. Okay, now, and it's kind of hard to demonstrate those 3 movements without putting the feet in, quite frankly. Otherwise, we get back to sort of that same cloud hand pattern that we were statically. Now, breathing, you want to try to breathe naturally, but I personally like to breathe out as I'm making my step, and then as I drift across, I like to breathe in, and then when I plant the other foot and let the hands come up and down, I breathe out, and then when I drift across, I like to breathe in. But again, whatever is comfortable with your breathing, the idea, again, this idea of maintaining good alignment, breathing all the way from the bottom of your abdomen, feeling where your dantian is, and continuing the process of flowing like a river. Okay? Let's try move 4 from the end of move 3, and then we're going to put all together. So again, we're stepping out with our hands in this position. We've opened with our left hand, about 60% of our weight in our right leg and 40% in our left. Now we begin move 4. Step in, put your foot down, and now step is a breath out. Breathe in, shift over, breath out, breathe in. And the third time. Let your hands come back into this position. Let them down. Now, I made mention in a last class about closing the form. The actual closure of the form is a move essentially that looks like a bass drum type maneuver, where your hands would be on the side of a big bass drum, and as we breathe in, we come up around the bass drum, and then we breathe out and let our hands back down. So when we get to the actual end of the form, that's how the form ends, and we try to end with each segment that we are completing with that particular movement. All right, let's try to put all 4 of them together and see what that feels like. So here we go. Move 1 again starts, heels at a 45-degree angle. Think of that alignment piece and let us flow like a river. Breath in and sit. Left foot comes off, heel, toe. Right foot, toe, heel. Move 2. Move 3. Move 4. Move 2. Very strong. Okay, so one of the things that you already may note, there is a refrain that happens in this form. And it is what Dr. Lamb, who originated this modification of Sun style, believes to be the most energetically significant piece of the form. This simple sensing of the inhale when we go into a yin phase in our breath, and the exhale when we go into that yang phase of our breath. Feeling that difference as we go. Now let's try to do this one more time together. I realize we've got some background noise going on for the taping purposes. And that being said, try to allow yourself simply to flow as much as you are able. Heels together, and let's begin. Okay. Hopefully that felt pretty good. How good do you feel doing it?
Feel good.
Good enough to show me?
Sure.
Good enough to lead me? Good. Let's have it. Okay? So set yourselves up. I'm going to do the form mirror. And let's begin together. Nice work. Nice work. Okay, let's just, we go off to the left, we go off to the right, no big deal. Okay, that's just the way that the Tai Chi form was meant to be this particular day or that particular time you did it. This form will do this exact series of movements both directions anyways. So you're going to be doing it that way when we get into a further progression with the form. Let's do it one more time just to make the remark. When we push our hands off on that first step out, move 3, we go to our right, we open to the left, and then we travel the 3 steps to our right to begin the form. Okay? Now one last comment, that bass drum move, so we want to keep that bend in our knees throughout everything as much as we can. When we do that bass drum move, we want to be thinking about, we start our bass drum with our knees bent, and as we come up, we're breathing in, and we sort of straighten out our legs at the end of that process. Okay? So again, breathing in, coming up the back of the drum, breathing out, and just settling down as you breathe out. One last time. Here we go. Flow like a river. Allow yourself to feel as if you're suspended by a string from heaven. Let's begin. Right fist representing yang, left fist over the top, representing yin over yang. And I salute you all and thank you all for joining us today. Look forward to working with you all next week. Let's pray for good weather.
Yeah.